And how do you reckon all the political parties have fared at this crucial halftime stage to bring forward their point to the electorate?
Okay, I think to me, in my mind, from what I have read, from what I've seen, there's one party that I'm very interested in watching, and that party is the SDP, Singapore Democratic Party. Why? Because Dr. Chi is contesting after 15 years. Two, I get the feeling, although it's not really confirmed, that Dr. Chi is a changed man. And I think one big indication, or two indications, one is the fact, the way he has spoken at the rallies. Two is the way he has used social media, and I've seen some of his social media activities. Very temperate, not the type of confrontational politics, not the type of street protests. And the second point is that the fact that a man like Dr. Paul Tambaya has joined him. I think the big question here is Singapore a forgiving nation? Does Singapore forgive a man who I think is changing? And that doesn't mean that I will come to that conclusion that Singapore has changed if not from the point of view that he wins the election, Dr. Che wins the election, but whether his percentage of votes goes up.
We are always looking at a united opposition to take on a ruling party which has almost been a monarchy for half a century. Do you see the unity in the opposition?
Okay, I think firstly, to ask for unity in opposition is an impossible mission. I don't think you will see unity in my lifetime, and I don't have that many years to live. So I don't think you will see, because it is personalities, right? I think if I take Workers' Party, right, I'll ask, why should I unite with somebody else? On my own steam, we have achieved what we have achieved, right? SDP and Workers' Party unite, who's going to be the leader, right? So I don't see that happening in the near future. And maybe there is no need for that united opposition. But at least they are united on a mission. And that's why we have only seen 3 seats, right, that are going, 3 single seats that are going for 3-5. If not, it should have been more. They even decided that they should meet beforehand to see that we can, how do we share the seats. So I think united opposition in one opposition party fighting the PAP is just a dream.
You brought up the right point of personalities in this election. You mentioned Dr. Chi very rightly. How much would the personality of the late Lee Kuan Yews endear or make an impact in this election?
Very little, as far as I'm concerned, because that is a kind of a double-edged sword. If you use it too often, then I think it's just going to work the other way. I think people respect him for what he has done. People appreciate him for what he has done. I think that is over. Now it's moved on to a new leadership, new Singapore. And the Singapore that we have today is because of him. We appreciate that, we understand that. Let's move on.
Rightly, you mentioned moving on. And now, past the half-time mark towards full-time, what do you see going over the next 2-3 days?
I think these next 3 days, I think is going to be very interesting. And one thing that I'm really looking forward to is Lau Tia Kiang's dare, right, where he showed a piece of paper and said that Workers' Party, the Punggol East Town Council was in deficit when we got it. Right? He gave a figure. Immediately there was a response that say, no, we gave them a surplus. But how did the surplus come about? It came about mainly because of money from a government fund, right, that they use for community improvement. So I'm now waiting to see what is Lau Tia Kiang's response. He didn't respond yesterday when he should have. I somehow feel that this is going to be his last response on the last day of the rally, because the PAP then has no chance to respond to that.
You're one of the few political pundits who mentioned that there's a possibility of a status quo.
Yeah.
Could you go further on that?
The way I see the whole slate of candidates, the way I see the PAP's strategy, when I mean the PAP strategy, and slate of candidates, I mean even the PAP has kind of changed its type of candidates, right? Not all of them are top-level scholars, you know. So I think they have tried to introduce a bit more common people who don't have, who are not scholars, who are not from the administrative service, who are not from the armed forces. You know? So I see that as one part. The second part is the way they have, I think, calculated to say that we must protect the GRCs at all costs, and the redrawing of the boundaries kind of indicates that. And the way they have gone to Punggol East with a veteran fighter like Charles Chong, which they said even a single seat I'm interested in. And I think that strategy is to stop the eastward drive of the Workers' Party. So I see, you know, that's the reason why I think it's going to be status quo. When I mean status quo, I don't mean that the number of seats will be about the same. I think the percentage, I just feel that the percentage of votes may go up, percentage of popular vote, but the number of seats will still be the same. There may be a changing of hands of 1 or 2 seats, but other than that, it will be status quo.
You mentioned half-time, you mentioned full-time. Do you see any photo finishes towards the last stage?
I think so. I think East Coast is definitely one where it's going to be an extremely close battle. Fengshan will be, to some extent, a close fight. I think if my calculation and guess is, my calculation is right, I think Holland Bukit Timah will be quite close too.